Alright, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Can't do video sharing here in the stage. I'll be recording this. We'll get the video up on YouTube at some point if you want to follow along that way. In the meantime, in the presentation board channel, I will be posting all of the links here that I'll be looking at. And I will go ahead and pin those as well. So the second link is the main document for the Spacers program. That's what we're going to be going over first. The first link's just a Google folder where you can find all of those other documents that are linked there. So if you want to open that, the second link there, you can follow along if you want. We'll go over the program. So we originally put out the original ambassador program, I think a little over a month ago, and it was kind of a non-starter. We didn't have a clear direction or good reward incentive, so we didn't really get much going with that, and we spent a couple weeks reformulating it all. I'm taking some inspiration from ambassador programs from other projects, adding some flair, trying to gamify it as much as possible. Everyone loves playing games, and so we had wanted to reward the community members that helped to spread the word about our project, sort of like a decentralized marketing type deal. So that was what we had in mind with remaking this. So being that spaces are an integral part of Subsocial, I'm sort of, calling them the spacers, sort of going with a space theme. And so spacers are basically like we have the spacer fleet, a bunch of spaceships and all that, and the spacers are the soldiers in the space fleet. So that's sort of the whole theme for it. You'll see that more throughout the document here as we go through it. So basically spacers are, the passionate and excited about Subsocial, what we're doing to try to change the world, overthrow traditional social media, help content creators get their full monetization value, etc. So they are community focused and ideally have a good community presence in the Twitter, Telegram, Discord groups, etc., as well as make content, help spread the word, educate people about what we do, why we're doing it, etc. So for the program overview, the main thing with spacers is they'll be completing missions. By doing that, they will gain experience, aka XP. XP is used to rank up and is also used to determine rewards. So we'll be having seasons. Each one is going to be 4 weeks at the moment. That may change in the future. You may recognize that concept from various video games. So each season rewards will be paid out during the first week of the following season. So initially we're going to be running a pre-season. I think I actually need to update this document. That says 4-week pre-season, but we're going to be running it until October 4th. So the purpose of that is basically we're just going to collect data, sort of fine-tune the parameters a little bit to improve the program. But all missions completed and XP and rewards earned during the preseason will be valid, but there may be some changes to the program by the time the first official season starts on October 4th. So we get down to the missions section. So you complete missions to gain experience. We got a couple different types of missions, as you can see from the table. The more difficult missions provide more experience. Most of the missions are going to be the same across all the seasons, like making memes, writing Twitter threads, etc. But we're planning to have some that will be season specific, sort of just like a one-off thing. Those will usually be more difficult and have more rewards. You can do missions cooperatively with multiple people if you want. The rewards will be split. So please make a note of that when filling out the mission report form, which we'll get to in a minute. So looking at the table here, we got a couple different options for missions. Some of them are pretty simple, retweeting tweets that are made from the official Subsocial account. That'll get you 10 experience. That's pretty easy. For those, you don't need to fill out the mission report form. We're going to be tracking all of those on the back end. One to note is the refer a friend mission. People that you refer, they have to reach Space Cadet 5, but then you and the person you refer both get experience. You also don't need to report those. You can look through the rest of these at another time. To note, some of them have ranges of experience, like articles could be 75 to 125 experience. So this is going to be based off of the quality. We're going to have officers that will be reviewing these and doing quality determinations, and they'll decide where in that range of XP it falls depending on the quality. They will let you know about that, and if you think that they determine the quality incorrectly, you can appeal that. So just let them know, and they'll let me know, and I'll take a look at it. But if we do get too many quality appeals that are not valid, we may just get rid of quality appeals altogether. Here at the bottom we have the preseason special. So each friend that you referred during the preseason will add a 0.1x multiplier to your reward multiplier, and we'll go over that in a second. You can do that up to 5 times, and to qualify the referrals must complete 5 missions during the preseason. So we get to rewards. So the rewards are determined by how much experience you gain during each season. So basically we're going to keep track of how much experience everyone has at the beginning of a season, and then at the end to calculate how much experience they gain during that season. And then we have this table here for their seasonal experience gain and then their reward multiplier. So for example, if someone earns 600 XP, they will get the 6x reward multiplier, which will give them a 3,600 reward balance. And then at the end of the season, we will be paying out Subsocial tokens distributed at a 100-to-1 ratio. So every 100 reward balance you have will give you 1 token. So if you have 3,600 reward balance, you will get 36 tokens. For everyone that's just tuned in, I posted links in the Spacer Fleet channel and the presentation board for all the documents we'll be going over. We're currently looking at the second link, which is the Spacers program document. Okay, so the reward multipliers are season specific. So at the end of each season, it will be reset and you'll start over at the next season. The purpose of this is to incentivize those that really go the extra mile and do a lot. So you might end up with something where you do twice as much work, but you earn 3 times as many tokens because of the multipliers. So those reset every season. However, XP gain does not. So your XP for your ranks, that stays across seasons. So your XP, you gain XP by completing missions. That determines your rank, which is not reset each time you achieve a new rank. So if we just look at the table right here, you need 10 experience to get Space Cadet 1. Space Cadet 2 requires 55 experience. So you get 10 XP, level up to Space Cadet 1. You still have 10 XP, so you only need to gain another 45 to get Space Cadet 2. So we have 2 types of ranks. We have crew members and officers. So the majority of the spacers will be crew members. They just complete missions as they please. They rank up, earn rewards. It's pretty simple. Those range everywhere from Space Pleb all the way up to Master Chief, because who doesn't want to be the Master Chief? And then you can see at the bottom we have the 3 officer ranks that are separated by the bold line. So we've got Captain, Commodore, and Admiral. So to become a captain, you have to get 10,000 experience, and then you also have to go through a officer interview. Now the officers are going to have additional responsibilities, and if they do not meet those, they can be demoted. So you may be returned back to Master Chief. Officers don't complete missions like crew members do. They have other things they do, and they also receive a flat XP and rewards per season. so that there's basically a time requirement to level up to the officer ranks. So from the time of being promoted to a captain all the way up to an admiral will take you 6 months, and we may change that in the future. When new space plebs show up, we'll send them out on their very first mission and hope they don't get killed by space bugs. And if they make it back alive, they will have earned the rank of Space Cadet 1. So if you are a crew member and you're not interested in becoming an officer, we will cap your experience at 10,000, but this has no effect on earning rewards. We will still continue to track your seasonal experience gain and distribute rewards accordingly. As I already mentioned, officers have responsibilities and can lose a rank. They have to get 10,000 experience, accept the responsibilities, and take part in an interview. The 3 different officer ranks, Captain, Commodore, and Admiral, will be organized in a hierarchy based on region or time zone to help with coordination and language differences, and they will earn XP and rewards at a flat rate. Further details will be shared when people apply to become an officer if they are interested. Additional perks, we have Discord roles. As you may already see, Escanor and Knacker are already space captains. They helped me put this together, and we needed some officers to start with, as I would not be able to handle all of the missions myself, I would assume. So we have roles, and it's just for the major ranks. So for example, we have Space Cadet 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's just a Space Cadet role, and then a Space Marine role, and then Space Chief, etc. Officers will receive access to private fleet management channels and a different reward structure. And we may also have NFTs for each major rank. As you may have seen this post recently, we're going to be adding banners on SubID, and we're partnering with some NFT artists to make banner NFTs. We're going to have it set up in a way where you can't just upload your own picture as a banner there. You'll have to have an NFT, and so we may end up with banner NFTs for each rank, and those will be rewarded as you rank up. Additionally, we're also going to have a seasonal leaderboard, so every season we'll keep track of seasonal XP gain, and we'll have a leaderboard for the top gainers in that season. To start, we're just going to have the top 10 spacers, and we'll have extra rewards for first, second, and third place. As the fleet grows, we'll probably expand that to maybe the top 20, top 30 spacers, etc. And spacers that make it on the leaderboard may get additional NFTs, sort of like a trophy. So if it all seems kind of complicated, we have this flowchart here that I made towards the bottom of the 5th page. So you can see at the beginning of Season 1, the spacer in this example has no XP, and they are a fresh space pleb. And then in the example, here I'll post a screenshot of this in the chat too for everyone following along, so you can look at it. So they start with 0 XP, and then the first season they earn 500 XP from missions. So at the end of Season 1, they have 500 XP, and they are a Space Cadet 5. They will start Season 2 with the same 500 XP and Space Cadet 5, and then in Season 2 he earns 400 XP, so he ends Season 2 with 900 XP and is a Space Marine 1. Now during Season 1, so he earns 500 XP, which if you look at the reward multiplier table, that qualifies him for the 6x reward multiplier. So he then has 3,000 reward balance, which is distributed at a 100-to-1 ratio for subsocial tokens, so he receives 30 tokens. The reward multiplier is then reset between Season 1 and Season 2. So then in Season 2 he earns 400 XP from completing missions, which earns him the 5x reward multiplier. So he has a 2,000 reward balance, which results in 20 subsocial tokens. So as you can see here, he only did 80% of the work in Season 2, but he only earned 66% of the tokens. So it's basically the more work you do during one season, the higher the rewards will be. So for example, if you're scheduling a 2-week vacation you won't be around a whole lot for one particular season. You might do extra in the season before or after, make up for the difference. Alright, so down here at the bottom we have the form to apply if you're interested, and we have a short FAQ at the bottom if you have additional questions. I will be opening up the stage here in a bit to answer questions if anybody has any. We'll go over the application real quick, which is the third link that I posted. So it says here at the top that all applicants will be accepted to the program unless they incorrectly answer any of the last 4 questions. We'll get to those in a minute. So it's pretty simple. Email, time zone, please put this in UTC, which is just UTC plus or minus, the number. You can Google that if you're not sure. Your country, whether you speak English, native language. If you think you have more than one native language, feel free to list all of them. The Twitter handle of the person that referred you. So this cannot be updated later. If you refer anyone, make sure that they put your Twitter handle in when they submit the application so that you can both receive credit for that. Whether or not we can contact you via email, we just need your approval for that. So in here, these bottom 4 questions, these are the ones you need to answer correctly to get in. They're pretty easy. So you need to follow us on Twitter, join the Telegram and our Discord. If you're applying and you're not in the Telegram and the Discord, seems like you're not really invested in the program. Then submit your Twitter handle and Telegram username. Those are both going to be the ones that start with the @ symbol. And then your Discord ID that needs to include the hashtag with the 4 numbers. We need the whole thing. The very last one is your Subsocial account address. This will be how we will distribute rewards. It's probably the most important. The address will start with a 3, and if you're not sure where to find it, you can go to sub.id, which is another tool that our team has made to track your Substrate portfolios. And you can scroll down to the Subsocial chain. If you do not have any Subsocial tokens, you will have to check the box that says show 0 balances to get it to show up. You will need to sign in with the Polkadot.js extension, and if you do not have that, there is a link to it to install it on the application form as well. So you just copy your Subsocial address, which again will start with a 3, and paste that in and submit. It may take us a couple of days to process the application, like if it's the weekend or something. So be patient with us, but you can go ahead and start doing missions, and we will count those. So if we scroll back up to the mission table, we do have some guidelines for missions, just to ensure nobody is abusing them or anything. And we have general guidelines like always being friendly, helpful, no inappropriate content, no plagiarism, don't be abusing content submissions or anything, no very low quality content or old content. These guidelines are the 4th link that I posted there as well. So we have a couple mission specific guidelines. For example, Twitter accounts have to have at least 100 followers. Subsocial posts must be at least 100 words. Probably the most notable is the translation mission. No Google Translate will be allowed. If we figure out that you did, you will be immediately removed from the program. We're only accepting authentic translations. So again, a lot of these, they have quality determinations. There's a range of XP that could be earned for completing those missions. So those will be determined by the officers, but you are allowed to appeal unfavorable determinations. So when you're submitting a mission, just make sure that it conforms to the guidelines for that specific mission. And you can find the mission report form. There's a link there on the guidelines, or it is the 5th link that I posted here on the presentation board. So again, just double check that it meets the guidelines. Drop down to pick which type of mission report it will be. And again, you don't need to submit retweets as we will be tracking those. And then submit links to the content along with your Discord ID and any other notes for the officers, like if you did it cooperatively with other spacers, put that there. If you do stuff cooperatively, please only submit one mission report for it, and in the notes put the Discord IDs of the other people that collaborated on it as well. And last but not least, we do have a suggestion forum. If you have any suggestions on how we can improve the program, please let us know. That is the last link that I pasted there. So I pinned all these links here in the presentation board channel and in the Spacer Fleet channel if you would like to read those later. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to raise your hand in the stage or ask a question in the call chat channel, and I'll get those answered. Okay, Siegmeister.
Hi, congratulations. First of all, I've been following the program right from the beginning, and it's amazing to have a proper structured program which has been rolled out. Now, I have a couple of questions. The first one is for the first program which was launched, the end date for that was October 17. Now, with the new program that is being launched, will this be effective immediately? And also, as far as the credits for the earlier jobs or articles or the post which was done, would that be credited separately or will that be included in this program itself?
I believe you're talking about the Subsocial Fiesta, correct? Because that was the one that ends on October 17th.
Correct, yes.
Okay, yeah, that was not related to the previous ambassador program, so that is still ongoing, and we will be paying out rewards for that. We'll probably just wait until it ends on the 17th, unless we launch the mainnet before then.
So anything that we do from now, as in terms of creating content or doing anything related to Subsocial, will that be part of Subsocial Fiesta or will that be included towards this?
It can be part of both if you submit it as a mission report and also tweet about it with the hashtag Subsocial Fiesta, like the original rules for that stated. Then yeah, it can be part of both.
Okay, so we can generate mission reports for the earlier work that we had done for Subsocial Fiesta, if I understand that correctly.
Well, so one of the guidelines is content has to be less than 2 weeks old. So if you created it less than 2 weeks ago, you can. Stuff that was made like a month ago when we first announced it will not be eligible. But for the next 30 days, you can double up on those.
Okay, sounds fine. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Polka Todd, yeah, I've been recording this with the video. We will be getting that uploaded to YouTube hopefully today or tomorrow. Might not be until Monday. So we'll have a video and audio. So you can see the video of me going over the forms as well. Hey, Manny. You are still muted, by the way.
I have an issue taking myself off mute. Yeah, I just want to say it's not a question, but I just want to say it's a great initiative that you've got there. It seems well designed, and I think I want to take a part of that as well. So yeah, definitely, it sounds great. So yeah, so each period lasts 4 weeks, and then obviously you have specific mission criteria set in the next mission period. Is that right?
Yeah, so each season is going to be 4 weeks. At the moment, we may change that in the future. Most of the missions that you see on the document there will be the same every single season. We're probably going to have a couple that may only be there for 1 season and then we'll be gone the next season. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, it's great to see you want to bring more people to platforms. I think once they finally land, they'll find it better than adverts being spammed on other platforms, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, it's great, and just want to say keep up the good work, and that's it really. So yeah, cheers mate, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback.
No problem.
Hey, what's going on, man? I was just wondering if you guys have any plans for like some sort of maybe tidbits for like cross-chain integrations that you guys are going to do with like, you know, Subsocial in general. I'm not really too familiar with most of the programs, so I'm just kind of, you know, asking a general question. If that's okay.
Yeah, at the moment, we are so we're in betanet right now. But even when we launch the mainnet, will be a standalone chain because the parachain block times are 12 seconds right now, which is too slow to have a good user experience for a social network. Being a standalone chain, we can do 6 seconds. Supposedly, Parity is going to lower the parachain block times down to 6 seconds or lower at some point in the future. So we may be getting a parachain at some point. No promises there. Even if we do not, though, there should be, I think Parity has talked about the concept of a bridge parachain at some point, which would basically allow us to bridge into, you know, like the Kusama ecosystem or the Polkadot ecosystem. And then we could also have bridges to other chains like Ethereum as well and stuff.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. Anybody else? Welcome back. You're still muted, by the way.
Sorry about that. Since cross-chain integration was brought up, I wanted to know what are the timelines? When are you expecting to roll out cross-chain integrations as well? Do you have a timeline for that, or what is the way forward?
Yeah, we don't have a timeline for that yet, as far as I know. We're just focused on getting the mainnet launched. And I mean, we're not building any bridges, so it kind of depend on other people getting bridges set up.
Okay, sounds fine. Yeah, and mainnet is expected, as far as I can understand, another few months.
Yeah, it should be out. I mean, I don't want to make any promises or anything, so loosely before the end of the year for sure, but it shouldn't be too far away.
Okay, awesome.
All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap things up. I posted all the links in the presentation board and the Spacer Fleet channels, so you can feel free to apply, and we'll get this whole thing kicked off. So thanks for coming, everybody. I look forward to conquering the subverse with you all. Have a good one.